Chris Gorney, Mountain High Adventures. We're out here in Red Rock Canyon this morning with Edher Ramirez, the recent Cocodona 250 third place finisher. Edher completed the Cocodona 250 for the first time and he made the podium representing Las Vegas. Really excited to have you out here today with us in Red Rock just to talk about trail running and the Cocodona 250 and to hear a little bit about your experience. So thanks for joining us today, Edher.
Yeah, good morning, Chris. Thank you for having me. Yeah, definitely. It was an achievement I feel so proud of. And yeah, being from Las Vegas, like coming out of Las Vegas,
Yeah.
I think it will be cool to talk about.
Yeah, we're just super excited watching the live stream to see you have such an amazing race. And I knew you would perform really well, but to have such a great race and to make the podium, it was really inspiring for our whole community to see you out there and to be cheering you on. So I just wanted to share a few words with you and hear a little bit about your experience out there in Arizona.
Yeah. Well, the trail running started with a group of friends here in Vegas.
Okay.
We decided to sign up for the half marathon.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of did a running group called Super Amigos because we were drinking when we signed up.
Yeah.
Bad influence. But then we went to the Zion half marathon.
Oh, yes.
And the 100 milers and the 50 milers were coming. They were camping and they were coming, from the day before.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when we're like, hey, what is these people doing? Like, the race is gonna start in 1 hour. And they told us, like, no, these people is doing the 100 milers and 50 miles. I'm like, no, it cannot be true. Like relays or
That's
like
too far.
What do you mean? But then I look it up a little more. I'm like, oh, these things exist.
Yeah.
So Robert and I and my wife, we start like kind of like picking our interest on that. We signed up for a 50K here in Valley of Fire.
And how long ago was this?
2017.
2017.
I
Okay.
did the first 550K in that Valley of Fire.
And Valley of Fire.
Mhm.
And then from there, what was...
Yeah, from there, like once you do ultra,
Uh-huh.
you start like, oh, let's do a 50 mile, and then I don't remember which one I did first, but I did the same year. I continued to do another one. I did Antelope Canyon,
Yeah.
50 mile, Bryce, no, okay. And then I decided to like go farther, once you can do the 50 miles, you're like, can I do 100 miles?
Uh-huh.
So I signed up for Bryce Canyon.
Okay.
And that was my first 100 miler.
Okay, Bryce Canyon.
2022.
Okay.
So very recent.
Yeah.
And from there, went to canyons. No, I didn't. Yeah. And yeah, eventually I just kept like looking for like my limit. I was telling my wife, I want to get to a point where I cry and I tell you like, I don't want to do it no more. I want to continue. But I'm still chasing that.
Yes, oh, amazing. Okay, fantastic. I was looking at some of your ultra sign-up results and I saw that you had run some of these 100 milers like Bryce Canyon, the Canyons 100, and then I saw you have 3 Mogon Monster finishes, and that actually was what really piqued my interest in you last year when I ran the Mogon Monster as well. And it was a really difficult race for me. And once it was over, I saw that you had finished, did you get second place or third place?
Second place.
Second place in this race that was the hardest race I feel like I had ever run. And I was like, this guy is amazing. He did this course in under 24 hours. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Mogon Monster, it's my favorite race, my families and I.
Uh-huh.
So we like going to Pine and just do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Even for the crew, it's not an easy race to crew, but they already know now.
Yeah.
So the third time, everything was more experience.
Sure.
But they changed the course.
Yes, this
1
year.
week before.
Uh-huh.
So when they changed the course, I'm like, okay, so the plan is kind of out of the window, half of it.
Uh-huh.
So the other half is kind of improvised. And I wanted to have fun, because the first time I did Mogon Monster, it destroyed me.
Yeah.
I did 31 hours.
Yeah.
It was so hard.
Uh-huh.
The second time...
That was my experience this year.
Yeah, it was it was so I told myself never do that again. Like what's the point? I remember my wife paced me for the last stretch 15, 16 miles the first time, and she struggled too.
Yeah.
You know, we were like, and I was telling her like, and this is nothing. Like this is the easy part. This one was hard. But after I did canyons, I felt a little bit like I didn't got the same experience. So that's why I signed up for the Mogon second time, and I was like, I'm just gonna enjoy it. I don't want to hate it as the first time.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it. I did 26 hours.
Yeah.
And then the third time I was like, okay, this is the time to go all out.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it. So my plan was just like try to go for it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Stay strong the whole time. At the end of the race, I kind of started to get lost a little bit. So I started using a new watch, and the settings was wrong, and I couldn't really figure it out.
Oh, man.
So I got a little lost a couple of times. Not lost, but you know, like out of the
Off trail for
a little bit. So I was like, I'm just gonna walk it. So I used to just walking until I saw the light of coming to the third place. So I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna happen. And then it took off.
You had to go
second, and then I'm like, okay, I'm super happy, stoked.
Yeah.
But I may going back again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's it's kind of a local race in the sense that it's just a half-day drive down there, and if your family loves the area, what a great race. So take us into your training for Cocodona this year. Of course, Mogon Monster, looking back, I think is a great race to sort of prepare yourself to traverse across Arizona. I know this spring you ran the Trail Trash 50K. I had the pleasure of running with you and coming in second place behind you. That was a fun race. Can you tell us a little bit more about your training for Cocodona, how that 50K fit into your training, and maybe was there any other sort of big goal you had for your training before Cocodona?
Yeah. Once we signed up for Cocodona, because my wife is the one that had the idea.
Okay.
She's the one that like, you should sign up for Cocodona. I think you're gonna do great.
Yeah.
I'm like, you think so? I'm like, yes, you can. Just like you have the qualities to, the strengths to do it.
Yeah.
So after we signed up together, Robert and her, we talk about it because we're like, I need help on this one.
Yeah.
So we kind of agree to sign up together.
Yeah.
So after that, I start training. I started studying the race. I like to kind of like try to understand the race.
Sure.
So once I create an idea of the race in my head, I'm like, okay, like how can I do my best result on this race? So I start training some things that I could, like the backyards. I know they were gonna help me at night. I didn't do that at first. Like the first one, I didn't do it on purpose. The second one, I knew was gonna help me. So the backyard idea was like the no sleep and keep going.
Okay.
And then the training, Mogon had done for me the mountains and the technical.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm covered there.
Yeah.
Then I wanted to have the speed of the easy miles. Easy miles were not easy no more because of the mud. So I signed up for the 24 hours, the jackpot.
At Jackpot, I saw your result there.
Yeah. 24 hours. It was more like, let's just stay strong. 24 hours. Finish it and be like, if I had continue, I can continue.
Yeah.
So that was my goal.
Okay.
I did that. And then when I signed up for the Trail Trash 50K, my goal was to see how I felt using my backpack and the weight of the water, the 4 liters. So I pretty much, where everything I was gonna wear on the race, I pretty much had it on me with the 4 liters. And I did the race almost entirely with the 4 liters. I was just refilling my front flask. And the same thing, I wanted to be able to finish and be like, if I had to continue, I can.
Keep going,
you know? So my mentality was like finish, but feel like if you have to go, you can go. And I felt great. And that helped me kind of to figure out my pace of my goal.
Yeah.
I did another extra like 3 weeks before with the backpack, the same thing, with a little more elevation and more technical.
Oh yeah.
And then I kind of, that's where I kind of decided I was gonna go for a pace that turned out to be making the race in 60 hours. Like if I would have kept it.
Yeah.
So in paper sounded like not real, you know. But in paper, well, no, in paper sounded real.
You could do it,
Yes,
right?
but in reality, it was like
Everything would have to go perfect.
Yeah, let's see. So that's how I came up with the plan.
That's a great training strategy. I remember the Trail Trash race. You had your full pack on, and after the race we talked, and you were talking about, I wanted to have all my gear. This was like a training run for Cocodona, and I was so impressed because I ran that race with just a naked belt and a handheld bottle, so I didn't have anything on me, and I was working really hard, and you just blew past me with all this gear and everything. I was like, man, this guy is so strong. But yeah, that must have really helped you out when you got to Cocodona, already knowing that you could keep a good strong pace and have all of your gear and everything with you.
Yeah, definitely. The backpack was a big deal. To choose the backpack was a big deal. I said I like to watch videos and see what people said. So once I got it, I started using it a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
Get used to it. Yeah,
get used to it until I really got so used to it that the weight didn't bother me no more.
Yeah, it was just part of it. Yeah,
it was just part of it. Yeah. So it was
Excellent. So let's dive into to the race a little bit. I'd like to hear a little bit about how the race unfolded for you. Let's look at it in 3 parts. We'll look at it in day 1, day 2, and day 3.
Okay.
You kind of take us through the race with you a little bit. So on day 1, we were following along on the live stream, and the race leaders took off super fast. I remember watching the live stream thinking, there's no way that these people are going to be able to run this race at this pace the whole time. Tell us a little bit about how day 1 unfolded for you, and what were the challenges that you encountered at the beginning of the race?
When I saw the lineup, like when I realized who was running, I knew I was not gonna be like so close from the top.
Yeah.
So from the beginning, when they started going, I kind of stayed on the maybe like 30th, 40th place.
Okay.
And very quickly we started like kind of climbing a little bit, going down a little bit, but then it went to a single track. And that's when I kind of like got into the line. But Mika passed me, and I kind of followed her a little bit, passing people. And then Jesse Haynes passed us, so we kind of all 3 went and passed another 10 people. And then I kind of settled there and just keep moving. The weather started to change. It started cool and super nice. Like the weather was perfect. But then the clouds started coming up as you were climbing up. And they started like getting a little bit more cold and started kind of like raining. And then I was just I see it more like more than a challenge, like help, because I felt disadvantaged with these super good runners. So I was like, if he hails, if it rains, if it's cold, everything is in my advantage, because maybe just running, I'm not gonna be able to beat them. So when it was like the weather was changing, I was like having so much fun. The rain, the little noise that the hail makes when it hits the trees.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's just pretty. So I was just having so much fun climbing up. Michael McKnight passed me, 22 miles or so.
Okay.
Very strong. He just went off. I'm like, oh wow, I cannot catch this guy. No way.
Yeah.
But I keep going. The Crown King, we got in Crown King, miles 36.6. It was midday. My bag didn't make it. So, but my crew was able to, drive up, get some barrow gloves, some little stuff. I put an extra layer of, just another long sleeve. And I had a windbreaker. So I took off. And then I was a little worried about, getting my main headlamp before the night. And my cold gear. Because it was wet and muddy.
Yeah.
And fun. So I was like, okay, maybe I would like to change, my socks. Oh, my shoes. I wanted to change my shoes after Crown King.
Okay.
So I was kind of looking forward to that. and they allowed them to go to Camp Keep Up, which is mile 62.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, now I was pushing to get there before the sun set.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I gotta get there before the sunset so I can get my good lamp and my cold gear and everything. So I got there, and then the RV couldn't make it all the way, so they had to drag my stuff a little, like, a little from the RV to the thing. But anyway, I got over, and that's what I passed Michael my night again.
Okay.
Before that station, he was struggling a little bit. And I remember after that, I started going down, and I started running with Cody a lot of time.
Okay.
It was so much fun. He was just talking with me, and I was like, this guy is the guy who run jackpots in 14 and some hours, 100 miles. Like, this guy's super fast.
Yeah.
And he was just cruising, with his poles, and we were talking, and we were just having fun that first day. Then night came on. I got the first pacer.
Oh, okay.
Mile 67.
So
that was still the first day. It was the night.
Going into night.
Yeah, and we did the Dells. That was hard.
Oh yeah.
The Dells is challenging. I had a pacer, Fernando. He helped me so much. Before I had Marisa, and we did the mud. Oh, that's where I passed her oldest.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, like every single accomplishment. I was like, every single people. I took it like, this is it,
Yeah.
I did, even if I crash now and I had to walk the whole time, this is it.
At least you had this moment.
I had this moment,
Yeah.
That's when I saw Geraldo's, and we passed him, and like I just say kind of, hi, how you doing? Good. Then we continued. The mud was just sticky.
Yeah.
And then you continue, and then we climb up to Mount Mingos, which is Mingos mile 108. That's when the mud continued.
Yeah.
I was with Dibu, another pacer, and the mud continue, and then that's when I find out the Gorney was not moving.
Oh yeah,
she was just not moving. Like she was staying there
at the aid station.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna cut up to her.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I
amazing.
cannot believe it. Like, really, you just said that, to my pacer. I'm like, okay. And then I remember having a goal to be there. My dream goal was 5 a.m. Mingos, because that was exactly the time Jeff Browning did it last year.
Okay.
So like, if he did it, he got there at 5 a.m. If I get there anything close to that, it's great.
You're in good shape.
And I was on time to make it there at 5. And I did got at 5. And the same thing, it was a whole accomplishment. I was like,
amazing.
It's amazing.
So day one has unfolded. It sounds like you kind of had to piece it together a little bit. The weather played a big role. It sounds like the weather actually played to your favor a little bit, knowing that some of these other runners might have a little more speed than you, or maybe more experience on this course. You kind of let them go at the beginning, which sounds like it was a good strategy for you. Even though your drop bag didn't make it to Crown King, your crew was able to jump in, and you were able to problem solve to get the gear you needed. And then you ran through the night and started catching up to some of these bigger names and some of the race leaders. And so day 2, I remember opening up the live stream and starting to follow along on day 2, looking at the race leaders, and all of a sudden we see Edher is up in the top 10, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Edher is making a move. He's starting to work his way up toward the front, and it started to become really exciting in terms of being a fan and watching the race unfold and having a runner from Las Vegas be a part of the mix. So yeah, let's jump in. Day 2, you've now caught up to some of these other runners. Courtney had stopped in the aid station, and you have caught up to her now. How did unfold from there for you?
Yeah. So it was early in the morning, 5 a.m. leaving Mangus. I knew the next stretch was the super technical downhill. That's what I heard. I was already compared everything to Mogon's. I was like, let's see. So we started going down, and it was mud. It was rocks or mud. So you had to choose, either you step on rocks or you step on mud. I choose rocks. So I went all the way down with a pacer, and we were having fun. It was fun, like you kind of complain about the mud, but since I have a set mind of finishing the race, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna dry it up? Like you cannot do anything, about it.
You just have to deal with it.
I heard people like trying to. I saw some people trying to scrape the mud, on the rocks and stuff. Like there's no point.
Yeah.
You do it, you step again, and then the mud comes up again. So we keep catching people, seeing people from far. So I got to Jerome. It was probably at midday. Then I continue all the way to Dead Horse, which is the I did that pace. That pace me. Robert went with me on that pace, and he gave me another the sun came up. I just came from this gnarly downhill, so now it's kind of like a little bit easier. And Robert came in, and he came in like kind of like a new, a new vibe, new
energy.
New energy. So we talk a little bit, and we just cruise. I felt again, like a new day. Okay, mile 125. We're halfway there.
Yeah.
So I just continue to go. I start seeing DJ now.
Okay.
And they have told me, now you're on 6th place.
Yeah.
So I still wasn't thinking about podium.
Yeah.
No, it was just too far. I was like, I'm halfway there.
Yeah.
Like
long ways to go.
Long ways there. Yeah. So I just continue the same thing, run what I can, walk what you have to, and do, take whatever the trail gives you. That was kind of my mentality. Don't over force it.
Sure.
Yeah, and so they continue the whole day. Then
you make it through Sedona on day 2.
Yeah, I got at night at Sedona. I mean, before the sunset, right before the sunset, and I saw Rachel and DJ leaving when I was coming up. So, and I knew the Hangout Trail was coming up. That one kind of, for some reason, I heard it was hard. But I didn't look it up. I didn't pay attention. So I should have, because I had a pacer. Luckily, I had a pacer, Tibu. Oh, he was so good because it was a scramble.
I saw there was some rock slope.
And then it's a little hard to follow the trail with the slick rock, with the dots. And at night, we were doing that at night. And you kind of don't know where you're going,
Yeah.
So you feel like you're just going up and turning and going. So it was hard, but it was still fun, It's something that it keeps you, at least me, it keep me awake, keep me very alert, I cannot fall here.
Yeah, it's a very engaging terrain.
Yeah, so we went through the night, and that one when already got to the 200 mile. Maybe it was like 10 a.m. So yeah, that was like the first day and night.
So do you remember the moment? Did you know the moment when you moved up into 3rd place? It must have been into day 3 when you probably, I don't remember as I was following along when you moved into the 3rd place position, but it must have been closer to day 3 maybe.
Yeah, so at night, the second night, this one kind of got blurry, but now I remember. It was the first time by myself. You have 2 sections at night. So the first one, I start. Yeah, so it was already a mile. Yeah, so I start going up, and my watch was telling me to go left, and DJ was in front of me going up. I knew he was on 4th man.
Okay.
I was 5th man. So if I pass him, I will be on 4th overall, 3rd man. So I start kind of going up here, and when he went straight, I called my wife. I'm like, either my watch or the phone is right, and she told me oh no, follow the watch, the cell phone.
Okay.
So I kept following the cell phone. I passed him, and I just continued to hammer, and I knew I was in 3rd place male overall after I passed him. But it was early, I haven't slept at all, and it was the second night was almost finished. So I was like, okay, let's just stay strong, you know, happy. I know already. I'm now on podium.
Yeah.
So, but it's still ways to go.
And you hadn't slept at all yet?
No, I haven't slept at all yet.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I waste some time with my tracker too, a few times. So those little wastes of time made me like not want to sleep.
Yeah, you want.
And also was the strategy was not to sleep. So after I pass him at night, I start to see Rachel's light before sunrise.
Okay.
And then as soon as the sun comes up, I got Fernando again, and he started pacing me. And we saw her far away, but we kept catching up to her little by little.
Yeah.
And then we passed her, and then I knew I was on third overall.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. But still long ways to go. And then everything started getting a little blurry, like you're very, very tired.
Yeah.
So this is just the last day, you know. We already, like, sunrise came up. I wanted to finish before the sunset.
Yeah.
Kind of my dream, but but I didn't look at it, like, I didn't thought it was realistic, but it was still a dream. So I was like, maybe, you know, like 50 miles to go.
Yeah.
12 hours, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
So I just keep kind of going, but the sleep caught up to me.
Yeah.
You know, from the beginning, I wanted to. It was after the check. They had someone check your sanity.
Oh right, yeah.
And
to see if you can go on by yourself, right?
Yeah. So I haven't slept, but I think I felt so good right there with my crew. You know, I was feeling from the energy of my crew right there.
Yeah, they helped wake you up.
Because it was, I don't remember which one was it. After Monts Park. But the RV was there, and all my family and my pacer was there. So I stayed there a little bit, and then I knew Rachel was like coming on right after me. So I left, and I felt so good that I was thinking, no, I'm not gonna have this problem. It's 15 miles by myself. Yeah. This is fun. But after 5 miles, I got sleepy. You know, at the beginning, I wanted to experience hallucinations because I have never experienced them. So that was one of my goals.
Yeah.
And oh boy. Yeah, so I started to see everything turn into little animals.
Okay.
Well, little, big. Some of them couldn't really make it a map, like all the little trees, fallen, the trunks, the rocks, it turned into animals.
Okay.
But you will look at them and you realize, oh no, it's a rock. It's not a condor. I remember a condor very, very clearly.
You see a condor.
And it was just a trunk with 2 rocks stuck on top.
Oh yeah.
Anyways.
But your mind makes it look like a condor.
Yeah, and a lot of animals. You know, a lot of animals. But every time you look at them, they go away. So I'm like, this is fun. And I start kind of laughing at myself. I'm like, oh my God, you're going crazy.
Yeah.
And then my balance started like to be not so good.
Yeah.
Like the shake, the earth, like the ground start to kind of move.
Yeah.
So I'm like, And then I start asking myself what I was doing, chasing the flags. Like, what are you doing just following these flags? You know, you're looking for one flag and then you're looking for, like, you're racing, remember Cocodona? I'm like, oh shoot, now I'm worried, you know, I'm 5 miles to go. So I took off my windbreaker and I got very, very cold. It started to rain. So it starts to rain, I take my windbreaker off and I got very, very cold. So that wake me up.
Okay.
And that make me, you know, allow me to go to the next aid station where I see my crew again. And I caught Pacer, Fernando. And that was the last stretch.
And at that point, you're in 3rd place. You knew you just have one climb over Eldon and run it into the finish. How was that final climb and running into Flagstaff?
Yeah, I was in 3rd place and I was super, super happy with my race already, with the crew. Like I already felt like we made it. I just had to finish.
Yeah.
Right? So I was with Fernando, and he knew Rachel because from years ago where they live, they race before.
Uh-huh.
So maybe Rachel doesn't know him, but he knows him.
Okay.
And she's like, yeah, I think she's right behind us. She's right behind us. So he was kind of pushing me a little bit.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay, we keep going, we keep going. But then I was thinking, like, if I get sleepy like that, going up to Mount Eldon, it's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
So I was trying to, but I didn't feel so sleepy. So I was telling Fernando, I don't know if I should sleep or if I should just go. You know, like I keep going back and forth and told her, you know what? No, I told him, I'm gonna sleep because I can't decide.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm usually good at deciding.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think something through and I just decide. And that one I couldn't make my mind. So I was like, maybe that's the sign that I need to sleep.
Yeah.
So I went there and I slept without thinking of third place or fourth place.
Okay.
I just needed to sleep. It was more like take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens, happens.
Okay.
And I slept, and then they told me like 10 minutes. I slept 10 minutes, and they told me Rachel is here. And then like give me 5 more minutes, thinking like she may sleep. And then 5 minutes went by, and she left. Like, okay, well, I guess I gotta go, right? Like, you gotta go. So I kind of get dressed again. I put too much clothes. We start going because I saw the snow on Eldon. I'm like, I'm gonna froze. So I put a lot of clothes and I took off. We start seeing her after like a mile or two. I saw her hiking up. I'm like, okay. My pacer again, he was like, she's right there, you know, you're gonna get there. I'm like, it's gonna happen what is gonna happen, you know. She's strong, you know, I'm trying, she's trying, and it's gonna happen whatever happens, you know. So yeah, we went by her, and then I felt strong, so I keep climbing decent until closer to the top. That's when I was like, I'm tired now. But I think also mentally, your brain start like to know you're closer, so you can start to relax a little. I mean, you still have to go down, and I knew it was gonna be hard because it was technical. They changed it. So I started coming down, and my mindset kind of went sour. The only time in the race, I was coming down, I'm like, this is not right. This is too dangerous. This is too hard. Well, man, we're at the end of the race. You know, just
frustrated.
Yeah. But then my pacer told me like, hey, my wife called him, and he's like, hey, Rachel is 5 minutes behind him. I was thinking like, no way. I saw her like a mile away. Before we sunset, I saw her. I was like, no way. But then yeah, she was close.
She was catching you.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, let's go, let's run. So my brain turned from relax, you're almost done, to let's race.
Yeah.
But I saw it more like have fun, you know.
Yeah.
This is fun. This is at the end of the day. I do it for fun. My family does it for it because it's like going to Disneyland, you know. We go to Cocodona.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fun. So yeah, at the end we create a little space, and then we just walk it in with the family, and it was, you know.
What an amazing feeling that must be, coming into Flagstaff after this long journey, having your family with you. Did you have some emotions come up in those last mile to the finish line?
You know, now looking at the video and everyone asking me, I'm like, I wish I had shown more emotion, maybe. Because sometimes it makes you think like, you don't feel it like that.
Yeah.
But I think people that have done 100 miler or longer, I think like we go through a lot of things to the race.
Yeah.
So your mind sometimes is well, at least in my case, it's hard to comprehend everything right away.
Oh yeah.
So you finish, and I'm not a very I'm not a person who goes by feelings too much. So when I finish, it's happiness, but at the same time, my brain is going through everything just happened.
Uh-huh.
So I'm still like kind of like a shock.
Yeah.
And I'm happy because I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, the dream has come through.
Yeah.
But I'm not a person that jumps around.
Yeah.
So it was a super special moment.
Yeah.
You know, looking at the interview my wife did when I was going up to Elton, where she was talking like, you know, how proud she feels and like, you know, like she deserved it, and you know, the children, the you know, the experience, the example.
Yeah.
My peers, my friends, like everyone being so happy, you know, that kind of fills me up. You know, like that's pretty cool. Because from the beginning, my main goal was like to have fun. Mm-hmm. Everyone has to have fun.
Yeah.
Just as I said, you go to this land, everyone has to be happy, right?
Yeah.
So you go to Cocodona, everyone has to be happy. You know, I asked them what do they, you know, looking forward to the race, like what do they want to get out of it, or, you know, I asked every single one, and I think we had fun.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool to finish and you know, yeah, have that moment.
Yeah, make it third place podium at Cocodona. What an amazing accomplishment. You've definitely made Vegas proud. We were all cheering for you in the chat of the live stream. We're Edher, bringing it home for Las Vegas.
Yeah.
We were so excited to see that. Well, congratulations on an amazing finish and an amazing race. What's next for Edher? Is there anything on the calendar? Now that you've recovered for a week, are you thinking about next year's Cocodona, or is there another race that sparks your interest?
Yeah, right now I want to do Sawmill Ultras here in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, a local sawmill race at Mount Charleston.
Yeah, it's super fun. You know, if you're here in Vegas, it's super fun race.
We'll be there.
Yeah, and the weather is nice. You know, it's gonna be cool. So. And then I want to do the 24-hour World Championship with the Mexican team.
Oh, yeah.
I qualified that one in jackpots.
Okay.
Jackpot Ultra qualified me for that one. So we're going to go.
Where's that?
October in France.
In France?
Yeah, in October some 9th.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
But yeah.
So 24 hours?
24 hours.
All right.
Yeah, it's just, I don't even know what's gonna be like if it's gonna be a 400-meter loop or I don't know.
Okay.
But that's next. Between then, I'm not sure. Cocodona, I would love to. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that I'm 39, I see it like I still can get a little more out of me, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I'm feeling like, if I, you know, keep training the way I'm training, and you know, I think I can have fun as well again.
Yeah.
So Cocodona is in the, but I have to do a lot of thinking and checking. You know, like it's a cost and it's time, and you know, it's
a big commitment.
Yeah. So I have to check that out. I would love to though. I would love to. I think that the distance fits me well.
Yeah.
I think my strengths are you know, shine in those races. So it's kind of like something kind of new that I find out, but I'm like, maybe I stick around on these races. But we'll see.
So you haven't quite reached that point where you've run so far that you want to give up on running altogether.
No, not at all. After I finished, I talked with my wife, and I was like, now what? You know, I can retire now. Yeah. You know, call it my biggest accomplishment in my life, and I will be happy. But right after my you know, my head started going like, are you done? Like, is all you got? Like, maybe not. You know, you start having ideas of how to train, how to prepare to race, how to perform overall.
Yeah.
And I see ways of improving a little bit. So that makes me kind of like want to keep trying. You know, not just be done with this. Yeah. But keep trying. So yeah, I'm definitely still gonna you know, still around. I'm gonna try.
Oh, super inspiring, Edher. Really inspiring for us here in Las Vegas to have a local runner who's making waves in the ultra scene and continuing to push himself and show us all what's possible. I really want to extend a thank you for joining us today, coming out here into Red Rock and sharing your story with us. I think a lot of local runners don't even know who you are, yet you've had some really big accomplishments. You've gotten second place in the 100K here in Red Rock Canyon. You've won the Sawmill Ultra in the past. You've podiumed Mogon Monster. And now you've podiumed Cocodona 250. So it's a real pleasure to chat with you today and to hear your story. And I wish you all the best in the future.
Oh, thank you, Chris, for the invitation, and I also thank you for, always showcasing Las Vegas, outdoors activities. I
My
love
pleasure.
seeing, that like Vegas has more to offer than just the city.
Yeah.
I heard so many times, and it's so true. Like when you see what we have around Las Vegas, it's so true. So I thank you for that. And your videos have helped me a lot to prepare for all those local races that you mentioned.
Awesome.
I use them to kind of knowing even the timing. You share your times.
Yeah.
So that's very appreciative because I know you're a strong runner. So I kind of use your timing also as a
My pacing, yeah.
as a pacing. So I appreciate that too.
Absolutely.
And I thank you for the invitation.
All right, man. Well, we'll catch up soon and hope to get some miles with you again sometime soon in the future.
Pleasure, man.
All right.
My friend.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.